What up everyone, TrueBlue here, and today we are looking at that time Nintendo thought for some reason Smash Bros. Needed a portable and for some reason, Wii U version. Yeah, that happened. Smash 4, aka Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, introduced a ton of new characters, had a ton of banger characters, I can't believe some of the characters that were added, but I'm going to go for other alts, just like I did with the 64, Melee, and Brawl roster. I'm going to go through, determine if they have good or bad costumes, and fix them up if need be. Starting off, we have Villager. Now, Villager's interesting because it's just meant to be the protagonist and main character, which is your customizable character within Animal Crossing. Now, there are a few pre-made villagers, as you can see on the cover of City Folk, which is where this design comes from, then the one from Wild World, another one from City Folk, I believe is a different artwork, and another one which is more just based on. But at the end of the day, all of the villagers are meant to just be customizable characters. They're blank tablets. They have clothing from the games themselves. It perfectly captures Animal Crossing. While it'd be fun to maybe reference more art pieces or have a character with the classic cone hat from the first game, as it stands, it is perfectly fine and does exactly what it needs to reference Animal Crossing. Next is Megaman. Probably one of the characters I was most excited for when Smash 4 was actually coming out. Now we have his traditional design based off Mega Man 1 and the classic series. Then we have Super Mega Man when he combines with Rush and a few other abilities, as a lot of those older NES games actually use similar color palettes. I know a lot of different early Mega Man games had that same sort of color scheme for a lot of abilities. So while there are specific images that I have attached to be oh yeah, this is the ability I got from, technically speaking, there's more references to it, and all of them actually do reference a move that is in Mega Man's arsenal. So the Leaf Shield, of course, the Metal Blade, the Skull Barrier, I was gonna say Air Slash, I forgot what it's called, what is it, Flame Shield? That's not Flame Shield. Flame Burst or something. Long story short, they reference a ton of different forms Mega Man has taken throughout a series, and while you could be saying oh, what about references to X or Battle Network, this is meant to specifically be classic Mega Man, and in the final Smash depicts the rest. I'm saying that's good. I'm saying this is a perfect encapsulation of that OG Mega Man, and we can save the references for the other parts of the franchise for potential version of Mega Man X as playable. It's not, this is just classic Mega Man and nothing else, and I respect that. Next is Wii Fit. Now, Wii Fit has only really had two designs throughout the history of the franchise, that being the typical blue, which appeared in the Wii version, and then in Wii Fit U and Plus, they had green instead. There's the female and male counterparts, of course, which is where the costumes take inspiration from, but there are categories within the games, that being aerobics, which is depicted with the color red, and yoga depicted with the color yellow, which is where you could see the red and yellow outfits respectively. I couldn't find any images. To my understanding, they do actually appear in these colors in those modes somewhere, as I saw a lot of information saying that was the case. I just no image to go with it. That being said, it literally is all outfits they wear. I like that it's one each, and it's not necessarily oh yeah, only red for the male. Everyone has the color. It's nice. It's nice. It's equality. I like equality. Next is Rosalina and Luma. We've had a really strong track record, so it was about time we had one that wasn't. Rosalina only has 3 alts that actually depict something. Her standard attire, of course. 3 that are just non-existent. Fire Rosalina from 3D World. 2 more non-existent ones, and 1 based off Peach's NES sprite. So we're getting rid of almost all of them. Yeah, no, I don't know why they lack the reference material, because they have it, as you can see here. For one, in Mario Galaxy 2, Rosalina appears as this, cosmic entity being, a little guide that helps you. Then in 3D World, there are other power-ups that actually switch her outfit. There's Cat Rosalina, Tanuki, and the Super Tanuki Leaf, which is just a white version. Those are all great inspirations for her outfit. In Mario Kart World, we get to see this fun little witch outfit that I know a lot of people really like. That could be inspiration for a purple dress. And lastly, if you inverse the colors of her normal one, you get her biker attire. One that I've seen so many people talk about. Oh my god. Everyone loves her in that tracksuit. It is crazy. Next is Little Mac. While a lot of people don't talk about Punch-Out, actually has a lot of variety in his outfits, especially with the Wii version. Speaking of which, we have his standard appearance from the Wii version. Then we have one from, I believe, Title Defense. We have his classic NES appearance where he had a white instead. One from his minor circuit appearance. One based off his SNES appearance. One based off of his iconic hoodie from the training sequence. One based off the arcade version where he was on wireframes to see through him. And one which is a mix of the wireframe and hoodie alt, inversing the colors. Since that one is just a new alt, taking two of the fun ones that were put in and making it like a Smash original, I'm getting rid of it to reference instead another costume that he actually had in Smash 4 that was removed, that references another outfit he wore in the Wii game. Next is Greninja, and while I want to absolutely tear into the fact that they could have done so much, I'm going to keep it simple with this one. So we have Greninja, one based off of Crawdont. While it may seem weird, they actually share the typing of Water Dark. Then there's Lickitung, they share the big tongue. Shiny Greninja, kinda, it's a bit of a stretch, but you know what? We take what we can get. Smash Original and one based off Politoed. That is also another frog Pokemon. And then two more Smash Originals. I'm getting rid of the Smash Originals, and I'm going to follow the trend that the other alts are going for, and that's having Pokemon that correlate back to Greninja. He's a frog, Water Dark type, big tongue. So I took that as inspiration for where I'm getting the rest of the alts. For one, when Gyarados Mega evolves, it becomes part Dark type. A lighter blue with red accents and yellow for like the tongue to represent the fins would be so sick. And again, Water Dark, another Water Dark type. And while people don't realize, Croagunk is based off of a frog. And the more violet with the orange highlights would be really cool. Another fun alt. And lastly, it is a model in the game. I don't care what you say. Ash Greninja should have been an alt. It's not that different to warrant its exclusion. It's so popular. It should be here. I know Pokemon Company is basically trying to pretend it doesn't exist, but Smash Brothers does what Nintendo doesn't, and that is actually take care of these characters and look at their history. Next is Palutena, and funny enough, Palutena I think has more inspiration than Pit does in like alternate outfits. Pretty funny when you think about it. So we have her standard appearance in Uprising, then one based off of her original sprite in the NES game, one based off of Pandora, like her humanoid appearance, one based off of Palutena's little cameo in the guide and manual from the original game, which has this like green-yellow. It is one of those things where it's like, depending how you look at it, you could see like two colors. A Smash Original, one based off of Reedy, one based off Dark Pit, and one based off of Medusa. I'm getting rid of the Dark Pit one because I had this whole debate in the last video, so we're, again, Dark Pit, character we don't need at all based off of. But the Smash Original seems a bit weird. It actually might not be, but its shade of blue is too specific. Instead, both the original NES and the Game Boy game have exclusive artwork, very hard to find artwork at that, of Palutena. We have this one depicting her with a cyan and yellow, big shield at that. That is from the NES. And then we have this black and white one from the Game Boy game of Myths and Monsters. Well, I don't know if that's meant to just be like, because it's Game Boy, it's black and white, or if it's actually what they wanted her to look like in that game. Regardless, those are two unique designs for her that she had in the past. The fact that they didn't take it seems a bit weird, especially since they already referenced the NES sprite. Next is Pac-Man, who doesn't actually have inspiration. We have his standard appearance, one of his many humanoid appearances, probably the best one, and the rest of his alts have these weird, like, I don't know what they are, just like something around his wrist and shoes. And they reference his little Pegasus shoes upgrade from, Pac-Land. That's not what they looked like, of course, and his last alt is just oven mitts. We're making this one up from the ground up because the absolute fumble on Pac-Man's alts, it is an understatement. Instead, Pac-Man has been shown to have many characters that have similar characteristics or features to him, as well as just he himself has worn hats and stuff in the past. Why weren't those the alts? We have, of course, his appearance in Pac-Land. Then we have his son, Junior. I would put Miss Pac-Man, but the reason Miss Pac-Man isn't featured and all that, and the reason why she's excluded from Repack is actually because a different company owns the rights to Miss Pac-Man. It is a whole story that I'm not going to explain, but yes, Namco doesn't actually own Miss Pac-Man. So we're gonna take Discount Miss Pac-Man over here, and Baby Pac, Sister Pac, I don't know her exact name. There's Professor Pac, this superhero Pac-Man with a little cape and blue all around, and then this fun artwork of Pac-Man with headphones. I see a lot of people talk about it, but I don't actually know the source of this artwork. I just know it is apparently official. Next is Robin, and Robin's interesting because, well, the alts depict characters that may or may not be important based on the decisions you make. So, it's a little weird to say. But we have the male counterpart of Robin, the female counterpart of Robin, one based off of this one dude from a different Fire Emblem game, one based off a person that's actually in Awakening, two more which I think they're not in Awakening either. Again, the references are very weird with this one. One, which I'm pretty sure is Smash Original, but many sources are saying it is based off of the White Mage from Final Fantasy. I call bull because I don't think Nintendo would even come close to referencing that. I don't care what Sakurai's doing, he's not referencing Final Fantasy if it ain't Cloud or Sephiroth. So that, I don't think is true, but I'm going to say it is for the sake of, yeah, there is technically a reference. And another character. So again, we're getting rid of all this and taking from the character's actual alts existing in other forms of media. That being our fun, favorite gacha game, Fire Emblem Heroes. Now, there are different approaches you could take. For one, you could have all of them have matching colors like Wii Fit Trainer did. So, as you can see, they have alts in Heroes that are identical between them. But they also have some unique ones, of course, which I think would be fun for other alts. So, across the board, all the alts actually do look really good. I really love the last alt of Female Robin. I think it's really cute. And this holiday one of the Male Robin, also fun with the Christmas tree sword. But overall, a lot of potential here from Heroes. Like all the other Fire Emblem characters, thanks to Smash, they are popular, and we can use that to our advantage. Next is Shulk, and cool boy. So we have Shulk's standard appearance, and then the rest of the party from the game. Like, this is actually all the playable characters and party members you unlock throughout the main story. Megafiora, Dunban, Ryan, Charla, Melia, and Ricky, as well as a fun reference to when Shulk is not wearing any armor or clothes, and or the beach outfit, if you want to consider it that, and that's his little swim trunks. Usually I would say, why did they not reference the dozens of different armor sets that Shulk actually wears throughout the game? Well, I'm actually gonna not do that and say this is perfect. Referencing the entire cast with colors, some of which sort of reference armor, and I mean, a lot of the armor is very much similar colors. Like, it's a tough challenge working with those designs. I get that. But they did cover all their bases with Xenoblade here, so like, it's so hard to sit here and actually truly be mad when it's honestly perfect. I'm not going to change anything. And then here we have the best alt selection in the entire game. I don't think I need to explain this. Bowser Jr., who can switch between any of the extra Koopalings, which makes a perfect 8. What more do I need to say than this is actually the best alt selection, because they're all different characters for crying out loud. Like, how could you not be happy about this? And Duck Hunt technically doesn't have any references, except the last one, which might be a reference to Banjo and Kazooie. Maybe. Might be a bit of a stretch, but some places do say it is related to Banjo and Kazooie. Now, the dog itself doesn't have any alternate versions in any form of media whatsoever. It's just the standard orangish dog. So all the other alt colors are different breeds of dogs. And the bird, while there's about 3 colors, which are all represented throughout the alts, the rest are all based off real birds. Now, I could have gone and said, what if they based all of these off of famous Nintendo and or video game dogs and birds? That's a bit of a stretch. So I'm going to say this is fine. They are meant to just be a plain dog and duck combo. I don't see why they would go so far out with the reference, leaving them as just fun colorations referencing different dog breeds and different versions of ducks and or birds. I'm okay with that. They're fun alts, they're simple. I see no reason to actually go the extra mile. This is fine for what Duck Hunt is. Now, onto the DLC characters from Smash 4. First up is Ryu from Street Fighter, and Street Fighter has a ton of different alternate costumes, and they just took a ton of alternate costumes. You have the standard appearance, one of his many appearances from Street Fighter 2. We have one that seems to be based off his classic appearance, but I do wish his hair was a different color to fully get that reference. And then the rest are all alts from Street Fighter 2, except the last one, which is from Street Fighter 8, which I believe was the latest at the time this game came out. So yeah, it's perfect. No reason to change anything. And Ken also follows a similar thing where actually 6 of the alts come from Street Fighter 2, and the last one comes from Street Fighter 3 instead. Another perfect. Cloud is interesting since technically there's actually 3 costumes here. Weird. I'll go through it one by one. There's a standard appearance from the original Final Fantasy VII, and then one based off his appearance in the movie Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. If Sakurai ever says again he doesn't reference things that aren't from the video games, that's a lie. Then we have 2 blue ones that seem to be based off the guard uniforms found throughout the Final Fantasy series, specifically 7, of course, and Cloud is supposed to be a guard, so like it makes sense. Then in a different game, Cloud has a player 2 equivalent because it's like a fighting game, and he has this red alt. Next is that third alt I was talking about. During Advent Children, there's a fight, and he loses his second sleeve, revealing a red ribbon referencing Aerith, as she is long gone at this point in the story, and that's what this alt actually is. Then a Smash Original, and another one based off of one of his alts that is based off his Advent Children design. It's very specific, but does exist. So there are more alternate outfits that Cloud has throughout the series that they could have taken inspiration from, so I'm gonna say the ones that are referencing things that he technically did or didn't wear, we're getting rid of. Instead, there are some designs they could take inspiration from. For one, Kingdom Hearts has its own unique version of Cloud. Well, I'm not saying to take the Kingdom Hearts Cloud. They could at least take inspiration, because this itself takes inspiration from another game, which features Cloud. Then, in Final Fantasy VII, there is a part where Cloud is in a dress. You don't have to put him in a dress, but giving him an alt with that color scheme to reference that fact would be fun. And lastly, in Final Fantasy VII, the remake, there are alt selections, of course, and one of them is this beautiful, what is called Lethal Cloud, and god, is it just such a beautiful alt, I had to throw it in here. Next is Corrin, and Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates, a game which, to my understanding, the Fire Emblem community doesn't like, is interesting since it's a dual release. We have Corrin's male appearance and female appearance, one based off of one of the characters in that game, 2 Smash Originals, one based off the allied troops in one of the Fates games, it's weird, one based off the general allied characters, and one based off of a 10-year anniversary version of Corrin, which is depicting Corrin in allegiance with one of the 2 families. I'm getting rid of the rest and just sticking with the allegiance idea. For crying out loud, Fire Emblem Warriors literally gives us the alts that we're missing. Here is male Corrin with his allegiance to one of the families, female Corrin with the allegiance to the other, the male Corrin and association, and since there's only 2 families, you can't, there's not really a neutral one. the neutral one is the one their normal one, I guess. So instead, here are 2 fun alts from Warriors, because again, they're popular. And lastly, Bayonetta. What I didn't realize was Bayonetta actually appeared in other games with alts. The more you know. So, Bayonetta is one of the characters who has appearances based off of different game incarnations. Her main appearance is based off Bayonetta 2, and her other one is based off her original design in Bayonetta 1. Then we have a yellow alt and a green alt, both of which are in this game she appears in. I have known nothing about this game except Bayonetta is in it, and that's fun. Then we have one based off of her friend, specifically her Bayonetta 2 design. Her design doesn't change as much as Bayonetta's between games, but it is specifically her Bayo 2 design that they looked at, and her name is John. We have one based off of Bayonetta and Bayonetta 1, specifically when she sees herself as like a child early on in the game. One based off of like a trophy that you get for just doing good in the Bayonetta games, and another alt based off of that other game. Again, know nothing about this, but she also appears in Blue Alt. I was gonna say this is fine, while referencing another character is one of those things that is hit or miss with me, and the silver one, while it is a bit of a stretch, I'm okay with. They missed such a good opportunity here, because when Nintendo helped fund Bayonetta, we got some amazing, and I mean amazing alternate outfits, where Bayonetta was in Peach, Samus, and Link's outfits. I'm saying we give those 2 slots to Bayonetta's Peach outfit and Bayonetta's Samus outfit. It is a cross-reference that is from her own games, They're just fun outfits to begin with. Like, I know it's a bit extra work. God, do I love them so much. I just think they're so much fun. And the fact that in the games themselves, like, the Peach dress, when she uses her attack, summons Bowser hands and arms instead of the standard demon. Like, it's the fun little things like that that makes Bayonetta such a character that people love. With a combination of me talking really fast this video, and the fact that so many of these actually had really good sets of ults, not much had to be changed. I'm thinking Smash Ultimate's probably going to be the shortest of these videos, since it's the most recent game, so they have the most material to work with. So probably the most material I'll have to work with as well. Who knows till next time. If you want to see said next time, I recommend subscribing, liking the video, hitting the notification bell. You'll see it as soon as it comes out. And don't worry, it's gonna be soon. I'm not dragging this out any longer than it has to be. But with all of that said, I'm gonna leave you all here and wish you all a lovely day.